I wish I knew half of what I know today about renting house in Brazil 2 years ago. It would have saved me countless headache, time and money. Since I moved there, I've dealt with the challenges of renting in Brazil, from living in 3 different properties across 2 cities to helping friends figure out tricky rental contracts. The insight I'm about to share comes straight from experiences, lessons learned and deep research. So if you are planning to rent in Brazil, this video is your ultimate guide to avoiding costly mistakes and finding the perfect place to call home. Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. This is a knowledge blog, and I'm so delighted, I'm so honored to have you on this channel with me. If you are yet to subscribe, kindly consider subscribing. Don't forget to share the video with someone who might be thinking of relocating to Brazil, because the information you stand to gain from this channel, they are very important for you to thrive and live well in Brazil. So let's get into it. I don't have the clip of the first house I rented in Brazil, but here is the clip of the second house, and you should be familiar with this side because I shot lots of video from this corner. This one is a 2-bedroom house with each room ensuite and a guest restroom. This is a typical example of what is called casa or house in Brazil. Before I bug you with too much information of my previous house, it is important to know that renting a house or apartment in Brazil requires careful consideration, especially for foreigners or familiars with local customs and regulations. So this video is a comprehensive guide, and it outlines the key factors to consider, ranging from legal aspects to cultural nuances, with a singular purpose of helping you to navigate the Brazilian rental market effectively. To start with, allow me to briefly talk about types of rented accommodation in Brazil. Majorly, there are 3 types of accommodation which you can rent. This includes apartment, popularly known as apartamento. Second one is casa or house, and the third one is condominium. In Brazil, an apartamento refers to a residential unit with a multi-story building, typically designed for urban living. It generally includes a combination of bedrooms, living room, kitchen and 1 or more bedrooms, although not all, but most apartments also feature a service area for laundry. The size and layout vary, with options ranging from small studios to larger units with multiple bedrooms. Amenities such as elevator, parking spaces and security services are common in many buildings, particularly in mid-range and upscale areas. The second type of accommodation is known as house, residential property that is distinct from an apartment. It offers a higher level of privacy, space and autonomy, as it is not part of a multi-unit building. The layout of a casa typically includes multi-rooms, bedrooms, living room, a kitchen and 1 or more bedrooms. Many casas have a service area for laundry similar to apartments, but they often offer additional outdoor spaces that are not commonly found in apartments. A key feature of a casa is outdoor space, which can range from a small backyard to larger garden. In some regions, especially in more affluent neighborhood or suburban areas, houses may have patios, swimming pools and verandas. Most casas also include private parking or garages, unlike many apartments where parking may be shared or limited. Although casas generally do not come with shared apartment amenities like elevator, communal play areas or round-the-clock security service, but it's a good option for students looking for a place to rent. The third one is called condominium. A condominium refers to a residential complex where individual properties such as apartments or houses are located within a gated and managed environment. It combines the advantages of private living with the convenience of shared amenities and services, making it a popular option for people seeking security and access to additional facilities. They are commonly found in urban and suburban areas. Condominiums often feature amenities like swimming pools, gyms, playgrounds, sports cars and recreational spaces, all maintained through monthly fees paid by the resident. This fees also covers essential services like cleaning, landscaping, security, control access, surveillance system, and sometimes the round-clock personnel or concierge. This creates a safe and organized living environment where residents can enjoy a higher quality of life with minimal maintenance responsibility. The concept of a condominium is comparable to what is called estate in Nigeria, where homes are situated within a gated community with shared infrastructures and communal management. Like Nigerian estate, Brazilian condominiums emphasize privacy and safety while fostering a sense of community living. Both provide a structured and secure environment, offering peace of mind and convenience to their residents. Most of the skyscrapers scattered almost everywhere in Brazil are condominium. Now, having said all of that, I believe that you can differentiate between casa, apartment, and condominium. So when you get to Brazil trying to rent a place for yourself, don't just tell a Brazilian that you're looking for a house, because it will directly translate to casa to whoever that is listening to you as a Brazilian. Try to be specific on the kind of accommodation you are looking for, be it apartment, condominium, or casa. So for example, if you get to Brazil and you want to communicate with someone and you're using translator and you're like, oh, can you help me look for a house? It's going to translate to casa. So be specific if you are looking for apartment, if you are looking for condominium, or if you are looking for a house. Okay, and there are different platforms where you can check for any of these housing types in Brazil, but the most popular among them include OLX, Facebook Market, and Airbnb, depending on your period of stay. So in this video I will be using casa and house interchangeably, but I believe you already know that it's different from condominium and it's also different from apartment. When it comes to price, cost of renting casa can be cheaper when compared to apartment and condominium, because you will usually need not to pay for one service charge or the other, which is typical of apartment and condo. However, when you are looking for luxury and better security, condo and apartment should come to your mind. Now, before you rent an apartment, condominium, or a casa, I would like you to consider these following factors. Number one, proximity to essential services. Ensure the property is near to pharmacies, supermarkets, and public transportation bus stop. The second one is safety. Research the neighborhood crime rate and consult locals or expatriates for insights. So if you are coming from any country, if you have someone in that city already that came from your country, you could ask them that what is the crime rate, how safe is this environment, do you suggest I should rent an apartment or a house in this environment? What is your take about this? So it is important for you to kind of have like a background information about whichever city that you are going to be renting your property, because I believe someone that has been in that city will definitely have one information or the other about the particular place where you want to rent your property. The third item I would like you to consider is your commute. How do you commute from school to the house? Because sometimes, even though if you check the distance of the house to your school and it's showing you, for instance, it's showing you on Google Map that it's 5 minutes, don't forget that sometimes the traffic could be held down such that a seemingly 5-minute distance can turn to 10 minutes. Having said all of that, what are the requirements to rent an accommodation in Brazil? Like every other country, your legal documents will be needed to rent accommodation in Brazil, and these documents include CPF, which is the common Brazilian tax identification number. This particular document is required for any legal and financial transactions, including renting property. The next one is proof of income. Landlords typically require proof of income to ensure you can meet rental payment. In this case, depending on your level of study and your scholarship body, you might have access to a term of contract which will stipulate the total amount of money you will be paid for the duration of your study. This can be used as your proof of income, but if your scholarship body does not give you such opportunity, you could explain to the house owner your circumstances, and this aspect is very important to the extent that if your proof of income is not up to certain amount, you may not be able to rent certain accommodation. Usually, house most agents want you to have at least ×2 or ×3 of the rent costs as your proof of income. Another requirement is guarantor or fiador as it is known in Brazil. Some landlords may require a guarantor who is a Brazilian resident with property ownership, while some may be liberal about it. For example, my first landlady did not really ask me for a guarantor because she knew the person that connected me with her, so there was no need for her to ask me for any guarantor. She automatically took that person as the guarantor. Now the last requirement is the security, otherwise known as caution or caution. A security deposit equivalent to up to 3 months rent may be requested, especially if you are unable to provide a guarantor. Also, I didn't have to pay this caution when I rented my first accommodation, but my second and the one I'm currently in asked for it. My second rent asked for 1 month equivalent to the rent, while the current one asked for 2 times of the rent money. It's like paying for 3 months from the beginning. It's noteworthy to say that payment of rent in Brazil, just like every other Western countries, is done every month. Having said all of that, it is not enough to have all the requirements ranging from the CPF, your caution, your guarantor, or your deposit. Understanding the terms and conditions of the contract is very important. The contract will be written in Portuguese, being the official language of the country, and there will be need for you to sign it at the cartório or with your gov.br e-signature if you have one. But before you sign that contract, just wait, because this is the tricky part. Understanding the rental contract is crucial. Take a moment to study the first thing, the duration. Standard rental contracts are usually for 30 months with the possibility of termination after 12 months without penalty. In your own case, you should have clarified your staying duration when the agent is preparing the contract, so ensure it tallies with what you agree with verbally, be it 6, 12 or 24 months. The next to it is the rental costs. This is known as aluguel. If possible, try to negotiate it. Whatever amount you agreed at must be specified in Brazilian reais, not in dollar, and it should be very clear in the contract. Next is maintenance and repairs. Try as much as possible to clarify responsibilities for property maintenance and repairs to avoid disputes. There's a money known as IPTU. Be sure if it is included as your responsibility or the landlord responsibility. Every year, Brazilian government collects certain amount of money from house owners. This amount is dependent on the size of the house or the size of the land the house occupies. This money is called land use charge in Nigeria. However, some landlords add it to the financial responsibilities of tenant. Be sure to clarify this, and it's advisable to go for those that will not be on you. Sewage maintenance or leaking of the roof or any other maintenance could be placed on you. Ensure you check the contract very well. You will be dragged mercilessly if you defaulted. The landlord can even write a petition to your scholarship body presenting the contract as the legal bond between you and him, such that every month part of your scholarship or salary will be deducted to pay him for what you defaulted. Another important part is the termination clause. Understand the conditions under which the contract can be terminated by either party and be sure of what fine can be incurred. Lastly, when you are leaving the house, you are expected to leave it in a new condition as you met it. You may need to even repaint the house, fix any broken pipes, etc. There is a tenancy law in Brazil which governs rental agreements, outlining rights and obligations of landlords and tenants. So when it comes to consequences of contract violation, non-payment or breach of contract terms can lead to legal eviction proceedings. The landlord may even pursue legal actions for damages or unpaid rent, potentially leading to financial penalty. As I wrap up, it is important for me to share with you these 4 practical tips which I believe will be valuable for you as a foreigner planning on navigating the rental world in Brazil. So if possible and affordable for you, hire a real estate agent or corretor, as they are called in Brazil. A licensed agent can assist with navigating the market and legal requirements. Another thing for you is that make sure you inspect the property, conduct a thorough inspection to identify any issues before signing the contract. It is very important. Not only that, make a video of the property and keep it somewhere in case there is a doubt on anything when you are moving out. For example, in my previous house, the landlord asked me to tint the glass door, saying it was tinted when I packed in. The picture I saved when packing in clarifies the doubt. Another tip is that you should understand additional costs. Like I mentioned earlier, be aware of condominium fees, property taxes, and utility costs before signing the contract. And the last one is language barrier. If you are not fluent in Portuguese, consider hiring a translator to ensure clear communication and understanding of the contract. By considering these factors, you can make informed decisions and secure suitable accommodation during your stay in Brazil. I hope you will find this video helpful. If you do, don't forget to comment helpful in the comment section below. Can you give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for your time and God bless you. Wishing you a successful stay in Brazil. Bye bye.